Hello everyone, so today I'm going to be doing my presentation on Catharine Beecher, the one that I chose for my educational giant. Okay, so here we go. Catharine Esther Beecher is her name, her full name, and she was born on September 6th, 1800 in East Hampton, New York. She was the oldest of 9 children, and her parents, her dad actually, was a well-known Presbyterian minister and evangelist. When she was 10, they moved to Connecticut, and she was able to attend the Litchfield Female Academy. But unfortunately, during this time period, the academies that were available to women only allowed them to study the fine arts and languages. So that was all that was available to her. But that obviously turned her on to her love for education and her love for women in the education. And so, unfortunately, her mother passed away from tuberculosis when she was 16, and this made Catharine have to jump into the role of motherhood. Consequently, though, this kind of made her develop a love for nurturing and her feminine qualities, and it actually helped shape her into understanding that being domestic was something that was a woman's job and something that was unique to a woman, and they were capable of doing it well. So whenever she was still a teenager, she wrote poems that were published in the Christian Spectator. And she had a signature that she used for that, and it was CDD. And so she would write from an early age because she placed a large importance on writing and on, obviously, on education as well. So when she was 22, she was engaged to a Yale University professor, and his name was Alexander Fisher. And he unfortunately passed away in a shipwreck, leaving her devastated, as one would be, of course. But she was able to kind of decide she was going to devote the rest of her life to the furthering of education, because I think that's something that she had a real passion for. And so her being able to kind of take the loss in her life and instead devote her life towards something that she actually cared about, I think that was a really good way to cope with that. And so she did that, and she was very, very influential to the rise of women in education. She had to kind of realize that teaching was very important, and so she thought that women could do it best because of their domestic qualities and abilities. And so she and her sister used the small amount of money that her fiance had left her to open the Hartford Female Seminary in 1823. By 1824, Beecher had kind of recognized that her mission was to find happiness in living and to do good. So she focused her seminary on higher branches of learning, and so it offered way more subjects than just the languages and the fine arts. So there were also many, like math was offered there, and she also placed a large importance on calisthenics and making sure that there were like people who were able to have a break and to kind of go outside and to get some fresh air. So she was really involved in that as well. She wanted to, she's like, when she started this seminary, she only had 7 students in one room, and within 3 years she had grown that into 100 students in enrollment, and a lot of people owed their education to her, which was really awesome. And then when she moved to Cincinnati with her father, and from there she organized the Western Female Institute, and that was also very influential, and it fared well until 1837. Then she returned east again, and she helped to organize the Ladies' Society for Promoting Education in the West. Um, she was also very instrumental in the founding of women's colleges across the states of Iowa, Illinois, and Wisconsin. So she was very influential in those states as well. So she also had a large importance on children's education and kindergarten, and making sure that children got time to be children still and didn't have to be forced to be adults so quickly. And I think that she really had that belief because she kind of had to grow up when her mother passed away, and she was kind of the mom to the kids that were left, because she was the oldest. So I think that because of that, she really had that drive for children to be able to have the time to themselves to kind of be children and play and learn that way and learn through experience so that they can be well-rounded adults. And so she spent a large part of her time working on the McGuffey readers, which were actually the first nationally adopted textbooks for elementary schools. So she was also very involved in advocating for children's education as well, and in the importance of kindergarten. And so her contributions, affect the teaching today for the better, because more women have been able to kind of embrace their ability to become great teachers, and also they're not just, women can study anything that men can study at this point. So it's not just limited to languages and fine arts and things like that. It's not just like women studies and men studies, it can be like whatever. Anybody wants to study, and they can, and which is a really great thing, because that way, I chose teaching, but I chose that, and it wasn't just something that I had to do. So I think that was really great that she had such an impact. And also, I've been impacted by Catharine Beecher because I aspire to be a kindergarten teacher, and I think it is so encouraging that she was able to kind of have such a strong view about kindergarten teachers, and I just think that's so amazing, because that's something that I'm really interested in, and I hope to make a difference in the children's lives just like she did. So that was Catharine Beecher, and I hope you all enjoyed.